We all wear masks. Not the kind you see, but the kind we build. Polished smiles, controlled words, carefully edited versions of who we are. Sometimes, we wear them to protect ourselves. Other times, to be accepted. But behind every mask, there's a quiet ache. A longing to be seen not as we appear, but as we truly are. What would happen if one day you stopped pretending? Would the world still love the person you really are? From the moment we're born, we start learning how to blend in. We watch, we imitate, we shape ourselves to fit the expectations around us. And somewhere between survival and belonging, we begin to hide. We hide our opinions, our softness, our strange little quirks, because the world rewards what it understands. So we become fluent in pretending. We become experts at saying, "I'm fine" when we're breaking, at laughing when we're lonely, at acting strong when we're quietly falling apart. It's not deception, it's defense. Because deep down, we believe if people saw our truth, they might walk away. There's something exhausting about living this way. To constantly hold up a version of yourself that isn't quite you. It's like holding your breath in public, waiting to exhale when you're finally alone. We think our masks keep us safe, but they quietly keep us separate. From others, from love, from the kind of connection that only honesty can create. We can be surrounded by people and still feel invisible. Because they're not meeting us, they're meeting the mask. And that's the tragedy of pretending. The more perfect your mask becomes, the harder it is for anyone to reach you. The world applauds the version of you that performs. But it's only your truth that feels peace. And peace is something a mask can never breathe. We didn't start out this way. As children, we were open, unfiltered, wildly honest. If we were happy, we laughed. If we were hurt, we cried. But slowly, the world taught us what was acceptable. Don't be too sensitive. Don't show weakness. Don't stand out too much. And so, little by little, we learned to build walls out of politeness, humor, silence, anything that made us feel safe. By the time we grow up, those walls become part of our identity. We start confusing who we pretend to be with who we actually are. Psychologists call it social masking. It's not about lying, it's about survival. We shape ourselves to what society values. Confidence, productivity, strength. And in doing so, we bury the softer truths, our fears, insecurities, the quiet parts that make us human. But here's the irony. The more we hide, the more disconnected we feel. The world praises the mask, yet what our souls crave most is to be seen without it. Here's the truth most people don't realize until much later in life. The moment you drop the mask, you don't lose people. You lose illusions. The ones who loved your mask were never truly loving you. But the ones who stay even after they see your cracks, your moods, your chaos, those are the real ones. Because love, at its core, isn't about impressing. It's about being seen and still being chosen. And maybe that's what the universe keeps trying to show us. That vulnerability isn't weakness. It's a doorway. A quiet signal that says, "I trust you enough to be real." When you begin to show up without pretending, you invite others to do the same. You create spaces where honesty feels safe again, where silence is comfortable, where healing can actually begin. And slowly, the masks start to fall, not just yours, but theirs too. That's how authenticity spreads, not through speeches, but through the quiet courage of being seen. There's a story I once heard about a performer. Every night, she wore dazzling costumes, stood beneath the spotlight, and made thousands of people laugh. But when the curtain closed, she'd walk home in silence. One evening, a child from the audience ran up to her and said, "You're my favorite, because you make me feel less alone." Something inside her cracked open. She realized the audience didn't love her performance. They loved the feeling she gave them, her raw emotion hiding beneath the act. That night, for the first time, she went on stage without the mask. She spoke honestly. She trembled. And when she finished, the room went silent, then stood to applaud. Because when we show our truth, we awaken it in others. The world doesn't need another mask. It needs permission to be real. When you stop performing, something beautiful happens. Your energy changes. You no longer chase validation. You start attracting people and moments that match your truth. Authenticity creates alignment. And alignment feels like peace. Maybe the point was never to become more perfect, but to become more honest. To stop editing yourself for a world that's all red.